Hey guys, this is Elrethe Rain Feral, the third boss we'll encounter in Emerald Nightmare. Try to explain this. It's a pretty easy fight, but it has a little added mechanics that I'll have to go into. So the first phase for tanks, you don't have anything to deal with besides tanking ads, which are little spiderlings that we'll have to deal with. The spiderlings drop puddles, and they also do a debuff on the tank. So tanks, you'll obviously want to swap who's tanking those. It'll happen 2 times in this phase where she spawns a bunch of them. She'll also give everyone a debuff, 2 debuffs at a time, called Necrotic Venom. This is the first debuff. It puts a circle around you. You can see it on the mage and the hunter here. It's a 10-second debuff. It's just a warning telling you that you have that debuff. Once you get that, you run to the edges of the room and get prepared for when the debuff starts. It takes every second, does a good amount of damage, spreads to anyone that's near you, so make sure you're not near anyone, and also drops a puddle of slime that does a lot of damage, so you'll want to run in a line around the edges of the room to place that in a good spot. The thing that you want to note about this is this boss room is really huge. It's actually 3 platforms connected by a bridge of webs. You do not want to block any of the webs with puddles, so we'll make sure to point out where those walkways are so that you don't block it with the pools of slime. Next mechanic that you're going to see is feeding time. She's going to lunge up into the air, and she's going to pounce down and do damage based on proximity. Just make sure we're going to have the range stacked at one place. It's going to pounce there, and we'll want to get as far away as possible. If they're not doing a good job, because this is normal, but that's fine. The spiderlings you could see right there, you barely saw them, they destroyed them. It did do a debuff to the tank, which you can see this 5-stack on the Demon Hunter tank. It does put puddles on the ground when the spiderlings die. They put it under the boss. We might do that. I'm not sure entirely what we'll be doing with those puddles. I used to just put them on the edge of the room, so I assume we'll do that, but we'll see how it goes. So there's that mechanic. Spidering's super easy. And then we're just going to basically repeat this phase. The only mechanic that I didn't talk about was the Web of Pain. You can see it on the Demon Hunter and the Bear right now, and also the Resto Shaman and the Holy Priest. Basically, all these people are going to share damage to the tanks. So if the Holy Priest takes damage, it goes to the tank. So it's just a shared debuff, and it's based on proximity too. So if you get more than 20 yards away from each other, you're going to take a lot more damage. So just make sure you're near the target that you have Web of Pain with, which should be easy enough because basically this whole entire fight we're going to be stacked. So you're going to see another feeding time here. They're basically spread out around the room. I'm not sure actually why they're doing that. I would just stack this whole entire phase. But here's the debuff. You can actually get a really good view. So he has the warning debuff. 5, 4, 3. You can see this countdown. And then once it ends, he's going to start running around the edges, placing it as close as possible. Pops a cooldown as well. It does quite a bit of damage. Here's the spiderlings again. That was feeding time. We sort of missed that, but it happens twice during the fight. It's pretty easy to deal with. During the phase, rather. So next, she's going to turn into her bird form. She's going to do a pushback at the very beginning. We'll have a wind walk for that. Just make sure you're not getting pushed back into the pools. And two people are going to get debuffs. Purple tornado debuff lasts 10 seconds and then places a tornado. You can see the hunter back there with it, and you can also see this DK that's playing Frost. What a shitter. He's going to clear all of this. The purple debuff counteracts the green debuff, so he's going to clear all of this and then drop the tornado, hopefully away from these webs. This is the bridge that they're going to be using. So that's that mechanic. It's very easy, and it helps out. So there's the tornado that he spawned, and there was one that spawns on its own. Here's Gathering Clouds, and then immediately after he's going to spawn 9 feathers. These feathers basically give whoever takes it a jumping debuff. You jump very high once, and then you glide down. You can see it right here. And it also gives you an extra action button that causes you to pounce down and kill anything that's in range, which is basically the spiderlings. So that's going to be used for those spiderlings to kill them. They don't actually use it here because it's normal and they can just AoE. We'll give the feathers to 1 tank, 1 healer, and 7 DPS. There will be 9 feathers. The rest of you will have to get across on the bridge, which requires a little bit of explaining. So this quality is a little bit bad. But basically what we have is a bridge of webs. Let me wait until he jumps. Okay, so you can sort of see right here there's a tornado on the top bridge, and then there's a bottom bridge as well. You can see the shamans on it right now. Basically what you're going to want to do is avoid this tornado. So in this scenario, you would want to go on the bottom bridge and just walk across. What also happens here is anytime anyone walks on this bridge for more than 2 seconds, it spawns a spiderling. So the other tank that's walking across the bridge, which in this case I believe it's the bear, will want to pick up all these spiderlings, drag them to a safe place, and then kill them with the jump or with AoE. And everyone else, just make sure you get across this. Do not get hit by the tornado. Don't be fucking retarded. And don't try and dash across this and end up going off the platform, because you will die. So those are those mechanics. The tornado debuff is still in this phase. All the spider abilities are now gone, so you don't have to deal with the pounce or the spiderlings besides the ones you get on the web. So it's pretty easy. You can see the two people with the tornadoes. They're going to put these as far from the boss as possible. You can see this guy right here placing his, and that guy's retarded. Here's Razor Wing. This is the first thing that we'll deal with. It's basically just a frontal cleave that you don't want to be in unless you're a tank. Tanks, you do have a debuff that you have to deal with in this phase from the ability. I can't actually remember. It's Raking Talons. Happens every 33 seconds in this phase, so 3 times in this phase. This phase is a minute and a half. It's very easy to deal with. Basically, it's like Manaroth's mechanic, the cleave. You just taunt directly after the first swipe, because the first swipe puts a debuff on you that you take 100% damage extra. So the first tank will take the first hit, and then the second tank will taunt for the second hit. And then it'll happen every 33 seconds. You just deal with it like that. It's very easy. Just a taunt swap, quick taunt swap, and you're good. So that's this whole phase. The next phase, you would actually go to the third platform, which is directly behind him right now. It's oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not. It's to the right and up. So up here. It's the exact same. She would just transfer to spider form, and you deal with those same mechanics. We will probably see this. This is normal, so I can't imagine that in Heroic we won't be seeing this with 850 eye level. So it'll just be the same mechanics, the spider mechanics, on a new platform, so we won't have to deal with all the puddles and all the tornadoes everywhere. So it'll be very easy to deal with. And that's the whole fight. They do kill it, and yeah, it's all good. It's on normal, so. But yeah, that's Elrethe.